This chocolate cake has won more blue ribbons in Lancaster County than any other dessert of all time. This chocolate cake is grown men and women will push their children aside trying to get a piece of this first. This chocolate cake, if you put it on top of your head, your tongue will beat your brains out trying to get to it. It's that good. And what we're going to do now with this is auction it off. And the proceeds, Ella, because she never buys anything for herself, will probably give it to charity, but we will certainly indicate to her that she can use the proceeds if she wishes to buy something nice for herself, but you know Ella, as cheap as she is, she doesn't buy things for herself. And we will encourage her to. So this chocolate cake, now if you do not have the money here, cash, check, whatever, if you don't have the money here, you can mail it to her house. That is perfectly fine to do. So we're going to do this auctioneer style. I'm not an auctioneer, so don't expect those skills to come out of me one bit. But
clean it yesterday.
I feel very confident with the level of this chocolate cake and the love of Ella Murray herself baked within it that we could start the bidding off at $50. Who will bid $50? Raise your hand. $50. Oh, you're as cheap as her. Well, we will take monthly installment plans if you like. $10 a month.
I made that because my
Hold on, she said, hold on. We got a $50 bid?
one that won for a party at his work. What?
I wanted to hear the story. I heard you said you made it.
Well, yeah, I made
You didn't know you were making it for this, did you? You had no idea.
Vance won that one for a work party. So I said, well, I already have two in the freezer cut up in pieces. He said, no, I want a whole one for the work party to take in. So okay, I made two of them again. So I always make two.
So it's fresh.
And I put it in the freezer, and I wrote a note on the top, do not turn over. You know, because it's one of those Tupperware things.
It's not an upside down cake.
Yeah. And then I was so Vance wasn't going to come tonight to the house to get it. So I was worried. I made George come out in the garage and say, here it is. Now don't turn it upside down.
They lied to you.
He said, because we were going out to eat and he would bring it in here to Vance, you know. And I said, well, put it in a cold bag and just make sure it's
It's worth at least $50. Somebody just bid $50 on it. Isn't that something?
No, Delana.
I didn't think you
Insisted.
She gets it for nothing, she says.
She always
That's
wants
the problem. She bakes for everybody. They get it for nothing around here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Even little Julia likes them. I had corn in a box.
Oh,
And
$50.
for Julia the next time I see her when you come for the piano. We're giving his little girl our piano. So I've been wondering why they didn't come yet. They were going to come and get it either Wednesday or Thursday of last week. So I had 4 pieces of the chocolate cake in a special container to give to Julia. Because she loves her.
She loves it.
She loves, oh my gosh.
All right, we have a $50 bid. Who will bid 55?
Oh, line.
55. Now 60. Who's 60?
Come on. Oh,
60?
it's all Twitch. It's all Twitch.
That's Twitch. Is that Twitch? 60, yes. 65.
70.
70.
Oh.
70. Make it 80? 80? 90.
100.
100.
Oh.
100. Any new bidders? 110.
Is George bid?
No, we got 100. We need more than 100. 110. 100. Okay, we got a bid for 110. 110. Anybody else?
Oh.
Anybody else? 110 or 110. You're in. All right, 110. Now 150. Let's go 120.
That's a good chocolate cake. World
120.
famous.
Yeah.
World famous. Yes.
Oh, back
120. 30. 40.
All right.
50. 60.
Somebody's really
We
hungry.
have a bid 150. 150. 150, and he might share too.
We can cut
find
the
out.
cake. We can cut the cake.
155, new money. I sold that man at the barbershop last week. He's got it. 55, now 60. 160, 165. 165, yes. 170. 175. Yes. 180. 200. 200. 201, that make it easier? $200. $200. Who will bid 205, 210? 205. 205. The famous cake. There's only one of these around. In Lancaster, Berks, Chester, Adams, Lebanon, and beyond.
Andy, after I took it out of the oven, George always likes when they're still warm to take a slice off the whole one end.
Did he do that already?
No, I put it into the kitchen and I said, George, these are the two cakes. This is the better one. You don't take a slice off of this one, but you can have a slice off of that one. He likes to cut a thin slice off along the edge.
Does he do that to most of your cakes?
He does it to all of them, yeah. Yes,
We learn more about George Murray.
yes, he does that all
Doesn't matter if it's for the bake sale at church. He will go ahead and take this liver right off of it, won't he?
I said, Vance wants it for his work party. You can't eat anything else. That's before I cut him and icing him. He likes to just take a slice off the short end. It has a crust on it.
Like that. All right, he didn't touch this one.
No, he
we have
didn't.
your assurance.
Right, he didn't touch this one.
$200 bid. Anybody at 205, all to benefit Ella or the charity of her choice.
Maybe we should take a break.
You want to take a break? I mean,
Come back.
You need to hold this out again?
Pretty hot.
Okay.
It's pretty heavy.
The bid is at 200. You want to go come back later?
Hold it 200.
Hold it 200. Well, I'd
Come
think
back.
about it.
Think about it.
Work together with your neighbors. If you want to, like, put 50, 50, 50. You can eat it right here for dessert. You can split up. We'll cut it up for you. You're gonna
Put it to a charity.
you're putting it to charity.
Which charity?
You have one in mind?
Cancer.
Something with cancer. Okay.
That's a good idea. Yeah, my mother, my sister, died of cancer. My brother, yeah.
So will you contribute to something, cancer-related memory of them with the
Yeah.
money?
No, well, no, not really. My mother died at age 66. We were at her cemetery. We were at the cemetery today and viewed the cemetery, and where my brother's buried too. So it's been a one whopper of a day.
You'll remember this day for a while, huh?
Yeah. You just kept saying we're not going home yet. We have to go. We went to the Wilbur Chocolate Factory and drove around the park and bought $50 worth of candy, Wilbur Buds, and I said, I never get. When we were kids growing up, Santa Claus on Christmas morning would be out at the main theater in Ephrata, and he would give you an orange and a box of Wilbur Buds. So my mom would always take us out there, and we'd walk in and get an orange and a box of Wilbur Buds. It's the only time we ever went to the movies, but that's what I remember.
Do you remember the first movie you saw?
No, we didn't see the movie. It was no movie, it was just there handing out the candy. And Keith loves Wilbur Buds. Everybody out in Missouri asked for Wilbur Buds. So I sneaked in behind them and I paid for them. Because I was just so happy they came in to see me for a day.
So what do you think about all these people coming out to
Well,
see
I'm
you?
overwhelmed because it's so many people from my life. My in-laws, my family, friends from George's work, and the bird dogs. And all my kids, my 4 boys, we never get together all at one time. My son from Wyoming was just in 2 weeks ago. And he loaded up all my dining room furniture and took it. For his new house, they bought a new house, it's like a castle between Cheyenne and Wyoming, and they needed furniture for it, and he was in Georgia working, and he was on the way back to Laramie, and he said, oh, I'll come by and get it. On the way back to Laramie, so he did. I gave him a whole, see, we're gonna downsize. Mark's gonna remodel our house. So we're not gonna have my dining room furniture that I have. He's knocking down a wall and all that, so. Now I have a favorite chair in the dining room, and a little table, and some flowers, and that's where I sit. I can look out the window.
Well, as long as you just stay there and keep baking, the cakes will be in good shape.
So because Keith and Kelly were coming, George brought up from the basement one of those folding tables and put it in the living room, and put a tablecloth on it and paper plates, so we were eating in there. They were only here for a day and a half.
So who traveled the farthest to get here?
Well,
Drummer.
So were you pretty surprised? Were you pretty surprised when you put the guitar on a real person? And tell me your thoughts when you first saw them live.
yeah. Oh, I don't.
She wouldn't have the slightest idea.
Who was the little girl?
Don't your hands know?
Yeah.
Should have grabbed the
Well, Kent lives in Wyoming, but he was in Boston to pick his wife up. And he came from Boston here. Keith and Kelly came from, they were in Missouri and they went to New York City on the way here. Nance and Whitney live in Camp Hill. And Mark lives in my house.
Well, I think we all love you. We're all very glad that you were able to put up with a long day to end it like this. This is special for us as well.
There's so many people here that I know. I mean, George's work, and bird dogs, and friends, and family, my brother-in-law, sister-in-law. My hairdresser. I saw her on the sidewalk coming in, or you were parking at the back, and I said, "That's Kimmy." And Keith thought I was crazy. And I said, "Kimmy," and she turned around. I never met her husband. I wasn't sure, but we talked a little bit, and she was coming here to eat. And Keith said, "Well, we're going to eat in the kitchen because his friend's a chef, so he can take us into the kitchen to eat." So that's why we went back to the store.
Well, everybody here had to keep a very important secret. And we're very,
So, my husband got his hair cut at Kimmy's for the first time last week. Now I know why, because I had been cutting it, and it never looked that great. So he wanted to go to Kimmy's. Mark goes there.
you're wanting a reduced bill from her? I mean, there's a lot of endorsement here for your hairdresser.
She's just go there, Judy insists. And now she's got the whole family now to cut their hair.
So you recommend her?
Yeah, and Leola, there she is.
All right, let's give her a round of applause. We'll come back and do some more bidding. Hopefully beating $200.